introduction and also my credentials are, in past life, I was a commodity specialist at Michigan State University. I bought medical supplies. And I also have been a PhD student in logistics, and I've taught Intro to Supply Chain Management. So I do actually have some knowledge of this as I come into it. So I'll start by asking you, are you a bureaucracy buster? If you're not a state employee, you've never heard of this, so I'll let you know that our Lieutenant Governor, Brian Cawley, has started this initiative and has a website, and you can list things on the website that you think are wasteful practices. One of the ones that I saw on there had to do with the purchasing contracts for the state. And what they do is they say that if you want office supplies, for example, you have to go with the contract, which right now is with OfficeMax. And someone complained on there, why can't we buy local? It's going to save us money. So I will give you the rebuttal to that on why it will not save you money, and I'm going to use what's called the prisoner's dilemma. And I'm sure that sounds very strange that I'm talking about prisoners and purchasing, but I assure you it will all become clear. The prisoner's dilemma is a scenario where you have two people who have been caught doing something illegal. Doesn't matter what it is. And there are 4 outcomes that can happen. If both people agree to not say anything, not confess, they both go free. So if you start looking at the possibilities, up in this corner, you've got 2 people going free, so that's actually a plus. So both of them are successful. No jail time, they get off scot-free. Another scenario is that prisoner 1 says, hey, if you give me a deal, I'll rat him out. So prisoner 1 gets a lighter sentence, and prisoner 2 gets thrown in the brink for the full amount of time. So you've got one person who gets a better deal, and prisoner 2 doesn't. The next scenario is that prisoner 2 snitches and says, I'm ratting this guy out. So prisoner 2 gets the reduced sentence, prisoner 1 goes to jail. So again, you've got a win and a loss. Now, if they both give each other up, they both get the full sentence. So they both lose. So in this scenario, what you want to do is you have to have faith that you both do what you're going to say you're going to do. And that's where the purchasing comes in. Purchasing contracts take all of your purchasing, puts it all together, all of your buying dollars, and goes out and says, we're going to buy all of this stuff. Give us a really good deal on it. And so a company will say, okay, I can take this into consideration. I'm going to give you a lower price. And in this case, I'm going to use the example of Christine buys paper. And we're going to reduce the numbers just for scale, but let's say for the state of Michigan, she buys half of the paper that the state of Michigan uses in a year. They're $10 a ream on the contract, and she buys 100 reams. So she spends $1,000 to get her paper. Jennifer buys half of the pens that the state of Michigan buys during the course of the year. So here's her pen. She spends $1 when she buys it on contract, and she's going to buy 100 pens for the whole year. So she's going to spend $100. Now, if they both agree to use the contracts, they both benefit. Now, Christine has decided, I was going through the store, I was going through Meijer the other day. I saw a ream of paper in there. It was $9.75. It's cheaper than $10. So I'm going to go buy my 100 reams. I'm going to go buy it from Meijer. I'm going to save. It's going to be $975. I'm going to save $25 whole buying my paper at Meijer. Okay, so in this case, she's over here, right now, because she's benefiting. But in the long run, the next year comes along, OfficeMax looks at their numbers and go, hey, wait a second. You said you were going to buy 200 reams of paper for us. We agreed to give you this whole package of pricing on the idea that you were going to buy 200 reams of paper. You only bought 100. We're not going to give you this pricing anymore. So the pens that Jennifer is continuing to buy because she's trying to be faithful to the contract, they're now going to be $1.05. So in this case, Christine is benefited because she's getting her paper from Meyer, she's only spending $9.75. Jennifer now is paying more for her pens because Christine ratted her out, basically. She was the prisoner. She got a better deal. Jennifer lost. You can flip it around. Jennifer can be going through Best Buy. They have a great sale on pens, so she buys her pens there for 95 cents each. She saves $5 whole on her 100-pen purchase for the year. And Christine, still holding faithful to the contract, she only pays $1,000. But year 2 comes around, Office Max says, hey, wait a second, you didn't buy as many pens as you said. Deal's off. We're not going to offer you that great price on paper. So now Christine is going to be paying $10.50 a ream. Great deal for Jennifer. She benefit from it, but Christine, not so much. Now, let's say that Jennifer leaves her office and the person who replaces her is going to go back to the contract to buy. Contract's not there anymore. They don't have that pricing. So in that case, Christine is losing out because she doesn't get the great pricing on paper. Jennifer's office, where she's no longer at, loses out because they don't get the great pricing. And the dirty little secret is that even when they go to Meyer or to Best Buy to buy their stuff, they're not taking into consideration how long did it take them to find those great prices. How much do they make an hour? If you're making $20 an hour and you just spent an hour price shopping for these great prices, there's an hour that you've spent. We're just going to say $20. There's the opportunity cost because you weren't working on something else. And you also have to drive to Meyer to go pick up your stuff. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that Office Max brings it to you. So right there, you're out money, you're out time, and overall, you're breaking the system. So when you start thinking about the purchasing projects that we have with the state and buying your supplies, remember the prisoner's dilemma and make it the purchaser's dilemma and stay faithful to those contracts. Thank you very much.